The Donut Bag is brought to you by Penn Highway Marketplace, the marketplace for vintage goods, quality collectibles, and handmade crafts. It's where I get all my sports memorabilia. Go to facebook.com/Penn Highway. That's facebook.com/PENNHWY and mention I sent you. What's going on, everybody? I am continuing my ranking of every episode of The Office. And this will cover numbers 25 through 18. So really, this is the third to last one of these I'm doing. So really getting to the end here. I'm excited. The episodes now are so good. These are all classics. These can all be considered, some of the best of the entire series. That's really exciting getting to this point. So let's get into it. Number 25, season 3, episode 10, Benihana Christmas. Michael books tickets to Sandals, Jamaica as a gift for Carol, but when she stops by, she announces she's breaking up with him. Andy tries to get him over with a lunch outing to Benihana, joined by Jim and Dwight. Angela's autocratic leadership of the party planning committee compels Pam and Karen to break away and form the committee to plan parties, which sponsors a rival office party. The cold open was Dwight brought in a goose that he ran over in the parking lot, and he wants to cook it, and he wants to clean it and stuff. And Toby said, absolutely not. We talked about this. And Dwight's like, please, let me clean this goose in the office. So Michael's going out with Carol, who's his real life wife, by the way. And and she is a divorced mother of 2, and he took a picture of the family and photoshopped him with her and the kids on a ski trip or something like that. And Carol sees this and just freaks out, and she says, that's it, we're done. But Michael says, but I got you tickets to Sandals, Jamaica. And she's like, I don't care. We're done. Hams and Michael is just so depressed. He's playing that one song over and over again, but he didn't feel like paying for it, so he just hears the chorus over and over again. This is season 3, so Pam and Jim are not getting along so well, and Pam had this gift to Jim where she's been pranking Dwight, convincing him that he has a mission with the FBI or CIA or something like that, and her gift to Jim was that he could choose the final mission or something like that. And Jim said, yeah, I don't really do pranks anymore or something like that. So, which is a big fat lie. He just, is just not getting along with Pam. So that was awkward. Angela is an absolute tyrant on the party planning committee. They invited Karen to be on the committee, and she had all these ideas, and Angela just said absolutely not, and get out of here. You don't fit in here or something like that. So, and nobody says anything. So Pam tries to be nice to Karen, and they decide to form their own party planning committee and have a rival party. And this drives Angela crazy. At one point, Angela says to Phyllis, that the green is whorish, and Phyllis said, I thought you said green was. I thought you said, oh no, Angela said orange is whorish, and Phyllis said, I thought you said green was whorish, and Angel says, no, orange is whorish. It's basically just whatever color Phyllis is wearing. So that's nice. Michael has the amazing quote, bros before hoes. Why? Because your bros are always there for you. They have your back after your hoe rips your heart out for no good reason. And you are nothing but great to your hoe. And you told her she was the only hoe for you, and that she was better than all the other hoes in the world. And then suddenly she's not your hoe no mo. Oh, classic. So Michael is super depressed, and Andy says, let's go to Benihana, and he brings Dwight and Jim. He wanted to bring Ryan, but Ryan had just didn't want to go, so he made up some excuse or something like that. So they're at Benihana, and they make Jim makes Dwight sit like on like a little bit away from everybody else so he can't hear anything. So the camera crew asks Jim, it's like, hey, you said you don't do pranks on Dwight anymore, but you just did a prank on Dwight. And he's like, yeah. um so they end up bringing back to the party two girls from Benihana. One of them wasn't even the waitress that were there that was there. They just brought him back. And um and one joke that just really did not age well is he couldn't tell them apart. They're two Asian women wearing the same clothes, and he couldn't tell which one of them tell them apart, so he marks one of them with a marker. Oh, I know the excuse is, oh well, it's because he was drunk or whatever. It's like that did not age well. But um so there's two parties. There's Angela's stuffy party that has brownies, and Kevin went because of the brownies, and whoever that lady was from the Stanford branch that ended up quitting. So they were the only ones in the party, and everyone else was in the fun party with Pam and Karen. And Angela steals the cord for the karaoke machine, and Daryl's like, "That's okay. I'll bring my keyboard, and we could just sing songs." And Pam and Karen felt bad, so they decided to merge the parties, and everybody had a wonderful time. Dwight was holding the microphone for Angela when she was singing Little Drummer Boy, because Angela was too nervous. She didn't like singing in public. So that was sweet. And in the end, Michael asked the one of his new girlfriends to go to Jamaica, and she's like, no, I have class. Guess that relationship's over. And you see Michael making a call to someone and says, hey, you want to go to Jamaica? And they say yes. I don't think it's revealed until a later episode that was Jan, but that started that whole storyline. Number 24, season 5, episodes 1 and 2, weight loss. When corporate offers extra vacation days to whichever branch can lose the most weight, the Scranton branch goes to extreme measures to win the contest. Pam leaves the office to go to art school. Oscar sets up Holly with a yoga instructor, and Phyllis uses her leverage over Angela to take over the party planning committee. So yeah, all of the branches had a weight loss contest to see who and whoever lost the most weight got extra vacation days or something like that. So Pam was not included because she was about to leave for art school, go to New York, and Ronnie replaced Pam. And I guess that didn't go well. Michael didn't like her, and I guess ended up firing her or something like that. So yeah, Holly is there, and Michael and Holly are just getting along so well because they are just so cute together. They're both like Jim says, like Michael's killing it with Holly because Holly's a major dork, just like Michael. They are literally the definition of adorkable. It is so cute. Kelly is starving herself and just doing so many unhealthy things, not eating anything. She took in a tapeworm that she bought from Creed or something like that. And Creed said that wasn't a tapeworm, so whatever. Jan comes in, she's pregnant, and I guess Michael tells everybody that he's the father, but then he says he's not because he isn't. So that got really awkward. Dwight played a prank on Holly that he told her that Kevin is mentally challenged. So Holly thought that, and that ended up blowing up in her face. Dwight and Angela are hooking up at this point, and Phyllis saw it, so she basically became head of the party planning committee. And Holly, Oscar and Holly are talking, and Oscar says he knows a yoga instructor, so they should get together, and he goes out, and they go out. So So Ronnie gets replaced, and then who comes back? Ryan. Ryan, who got fired for that was in season 4 when he was had that high position in corporate and got charged with a fraud or something like that. So somehow Michael got him back. Ryan got sent back to the temp agency, and Michael insisted on bringing him back. So now Ryan is the receptionist, and he says he says hi to everyone, and he says to Jim, "Hey, I'm back, and I've decided to give back to the community." And Jim's like, "You mean community service that you were court ordered to do?" Is like, "Yeah, that too." So, and one of the famous gifs is Ryan like writing down on the book. So Pam is in art school in New York, and she's also the RA, and she's doing all kinds of stuff in New York, and Jim goes to visit her, and he misses her so much that he says, "Let's meet halfway at that one gas station, at rest stop." And it was raining, and it was like at a gas station, and he couldn't wait, and he proposed to her, and it was absolutely beautiful and wonderful. So it was perfect. It was just perfect. Dwight wanted to win the weight loss contest, so he tells Phyllis, "Let's go meet a client," or something like that, and he drops her off like 5 miles away from the office and makes her walk back with no with no cell phone, and just so he can make her exercise. And Phyllis is furious afterwards. I'm surprised she didn't have Bob Vance from Vance Refrigeration kick his butt, because that's something that she should have done. Instead, she calls corporate. But so they're having a meeting, and Michael's character, Michael Klump, who is Michael with a sumo suit, he's both morbidly obese and talks like Fat Albert. And oh my goodness, what is going on here? And he's telling everybody that fat is beautiful, and it's okay if they don't lose weight or something like that. Like, oh my goodness. So Angela is at this point engaged to Andy, but she's sleeping with Dwight. And all you see is a talking head. She says, "I have a nice comforter, a few cozy pillows. I read a chapter of a book, and it's light out by 8:30. That's how I sleep at night. Why do you ask?" I love that's a question. How do you sleep at night? Number 23, season 2, episode 10, Christmas party. It's Christmas at Dunder Mifflin, and the whole office is planning a party. Michael, the only one who receives a Christmas bonus, buys an iPod for his Secret Santa recipient. This leads to a game of White Elephant, Yankee Swap, and a lot of hurt feelings. To make up for it, Michael defies company rules and buys alcohol for the party. So this is the first Christmas episode. This is from season 2, and it is a classic. The cold open is Michael and Dwight get a real tree, and it is about 3 feet taller than the size of the room. So they have to Kevin cuts the top of the tree. And it's the stupidest looking tree. It's this big tree with the top cut off. And Kevin says, "What do we do with this?" Like, "We'll sell it. We'll sell the cut off part to charity, because that's what Christmas is all about." Okay. So there was a Secret Santa, and Jim got Pam. And the gift he got her was the famous teapot. And in this teapot had a whole bunch of inside jokes between them about little mementos and stuff like that, but also a card. And the card was apparently how he feels about her, basically saying he loves her. I mean, this is one of the most famous mysteries and questions about The Office. What was in the card? We know in season 9 that he does give the card to her when they're on the rocks. So apparently what the card is basically, I think it was like a nice little note from John Krasinski to Jenna Fisher. I'm getting I'm getting emotional about it. Basically saying how he feels about her. So it was a really emotional thing, but it was, basically not in character. So everybody got a Secret Santa and everything's going fine. Everybody got, personalized gifts and everything's fine. And then the money limit on the gifts was $20. Well, Michael gets Ryan as the secret Santa, and because he loves Ryan, because he's Michael, he gets him a video iPod, which costs like $400. And okay, so everybody's like, well, what's up with that? And then Phyllis had him as a Secret Santa, and she made him a homemade oven mitt. She made this for him, and he freaks out. He's like, what is this crap? What is this? So when he gets so mad, he says, okay, forget about Secret Santa. We're doing White Elephants or Yankee Swap or whatever. And that's where you get to pick gifts from other people. Well, on automatically everybody picks the video iPod, and Pam ends up with the iPod, and Dwight ends up with the teapot. And Jim is like, you gotta be kidding me. And Pam sees that Jim was really hurt that he got her this gift, and Dwight of all people got it. So he was really upset. She saw this. So eventually she traded and got the teapot back, and they have a little moment where he explains all the gifts to her, and it's nice. But he takes the note back. So Michael admitted he got a $3,000 bonus for firing Devin, and everybody is really upset. At one point, Michael says, well, happy birthday, Jesus. Sorry your party is so lame. And he decides to fix it by buying 15 bottles of vodka. And also in this episode, we get one of the best scenes of the entire series when Phyllis introduces her new boyfriend, Bob Vance. And she says, hi guys, does everybody know my boyfriend Bob Vance? And Kevin introduces himself, and Bob says Bob Vance, Vance Refrigeration. Stanley introduces himself, Bob Vance, Vance Refrigeration. Ryan introduces himself, Bob Vance, Vance Refrigeration. And then there's a pause, and Ryan says, what line of work are you in, Bob? Oh it's amazing. It's amazing. Also in this episode, they all go to Poor Richard's. I think Bob included him or something like that. Obviously, Bob doesn't know Michael yet because we know later on he hates his guts for good reason. The cool thing is this was about the time of when the video iPod came out, and Apple was promoting this episode. They had this episode on their video iPod, so it boosted the ratings of The Office, because basically everybody that got this iPod had this episode on it already, and it became the most popular download for people who got iPods for Christmas that year. So it helped the show, it helped Apple. It was perfect. Number 22, season 4, episode 1, Fun Run. Michael feels pretty good about life, and then he runs over Meredith in the parking lots. Pam and Jim claim they're both single. Karen has left the office after Jim dumped her in New York. And Dwight takes care of Angela's cat, Sprinkles. So, yeah, the cold open was amazing. Michael is in his condo. He says, you know what? I didn't get the job, but that's okay, because I ended up with Jan. And Jan is like all passed out on the couch. It's like, this is what I come home to. He's so happy. So he's on his way to work and everything's fine. And then he runs over Meredith. This is amazing. Michael goes in and says, and kind of makes it sound like Meredith died. It's like Meredith got run over by a car, and someone says, "Do you know how? Do you know who did it?" He's like, yeah." And they figure out it was him, and and Jim says on a talking head, Michael complained about a speed bump. One day, Michael complained about a speed bump on the highway. I wonder who he ran over then. So Michael is talking to Ryan, who at this point was just named, uh, basically took Jan's job at corporate. And he's calling Ryan and says, he says, I ran over Meredith. It was on company property with company property, so it was double jeopardy. We're fine. And Ryan says, I don't think you understand how jeopardy works. And Michael says, oh, sorry. What is we're fine? This episode was so full of memorable quotes and scenes. Is just amazing. At one point, Michael says, guess what? I have flaws. What are they? Oh, I don't know. I sing in the shower. Sometimes I spend too much time volunteering. Occasionally I'll hit somebody with my car. So sue me. Wait, no, don't sue me. That's the opposite of the point I'm trying to make. This is also the episode where we get the famous quotes. I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. The thing with so at this point, Dwight and Angela are together, and Angela has a cat, Sprinkles, who is just, I mean, it sounds like it's very either sick and old or who knows what's going on, but she asks him to take care of Sprinkles because Pam organized a thing where everybody in the office goes to visit Meredith in the hospital. So Angela has to do that. She says, well, why? Well, since I have to do that, why don't you go and take care of Sprinkles? And she gives him all these instructions. You have to give this medicine and that medicine, do all these things. Now, Dwight's a farmer, and he doesn't view cats. I don't think he views animals as pets. So it's like, well, this is a useless cat and it's dying. I'm just going to put it out of its misery, duh. And so basically Dwight killed the cat and put it in the freezer. I don't know why Creed said this, but Creed said, I've been involved in a number of cults, both as a leader as a follower. You have more fun as a follower, but you make more money as a lead. Creed is amazing. So they go to Meredith's to the hospital where Meredith is, and it's just a disaster. All of the office is there. There's I don't have it exactly, but when they're organizing it, Michael says, I'll drive one of the cars, and Stanley says, what, you're not driving anything, you ran over someone. And Michael says, everybody in the car was safe, Stanley. I love that. So they go to the hospital, and Michael says, okay, in front of everybody, Meredith, you could tell everybody that you forgive me. And Meredith's like, no, I don't forgive you. And then he tries to hug her and just makes it worse, and he pulls the plug, and it was just ridiculous. Meredith at one point says that she's on painkillers, and Creed's like, ooh, what kind? Percocet? And just rattles off like a dozen painkillers. She's like, I don't know. He's like, oh god. Who knows what Creed was about to do? Steal him, probably. Who knows? So Dwight goes to visit, and he says, if we pull the plug on Meredith, we could save enough energy to run 2 fans or something. Oh my god. Meredith's like, please don't pull the plug on me. But he finds out that Meredith had a rabies vaccine or something like that, because he was bit by the bat from I think it's a business school episode. And so he tells Michael that it's a good thing she ended up in the hospital because of the rabies thing. And he's like, oh my gosh, I saved her life. We need to do something for the for rabies awareness. So he starts a 5K called Michael Scott's Dunder Mifflin Scranton Meredith Palmer Memorial Celebrity Rabies Awareness Fun Run Pro-Am Race for the Cure. I have this shirt. I can't find it, but that is one of the most awesome names of a race ever. There is also a story where at this point, this is the season premiere of season 4, and at the end of season 3, Jim asks Pam on a date. So there was that whole thing. So Oscar and Kevin are closely watching. It's like, are they? What's going on? And Pam and Jim are like, no, we're just friends. Meanwhile, they actually are dating. The camera crew is actually following them around and finds out that they are sneaking around. Like, and then they show them the footage of them sneaking around, like, and they're like, yeah, we're dating. And so they, at least they admit to the camera crew that they're dating. And on the race, they end up walking and holding hands. Now, the reason why they were walking and not running is because in real life, Jenna Fisher fell down the stairs and really hurt her back, and she could not run at this point. So that's why they were walking. At one point, so Michael's changing for the race. Pam has a question, and he says, "Come in." And she comes in, and he's changing, and she sees his, you know what? so they're all upset about that. And then Jan confronts her about it. It's like, you stay away from my man. And like, I wasn't, like, what were you talking about? So they raised like $700, and they wanted to, Michael wanted to have a big elaborate ceremony, and Jim says, I think I could find a nurse for this, which is actually a stripper. And then, so it costs money for the stripper, and it costs money for the giant check that was made out to science. So they ended up donating $340 to science. Oh, by the way, Jan pledged $500, which was actually Michael's money. So Elizabeth the stripper from the Ben Franklin episode is back. Michael says, oh, cool, you went back and got your degree. There was a thing about Andy's nipples were bleeding. Okay, whatever. Toby ended up winning the race. Yay. And Michael decided to carb load, and he ended up getting dehydrated. Oh, by the way, they said that the temperature when they were filming this was like 105, so it was extremely hard to run. So anyway, Michael got dehydrated because he ate a fettuccine alfredo before the race, and he couldn't continue. And Jim and Pam talk to him, and Pam talks him into finishing the race. So he finishes the race, and then he throws up, and it's just an amazing. This was a 2-part episode. It was just amazing. Number 21, season 3, episode 16, business school. Ryan brings Michael to his business class as a guest speaker. Pam and Roy are back together. Dwight finds a bat hiding in the ceiling, leading to Jim's prank. He makes Dwight believe he's been bitten by and will turn into a vampire. And Pam has her first art show. So the cold open was kind of dumb. Michael is basically he thinks of this, Ryan is just using this as extra credit for his class. So, Ryan says, I'd be dumb not to do this. But Michael thinks it's like some like he's being welcomed as some like conquering hero or something like that, or some god or something like that he's going to Ryan's class. And he talks about that he wants to be the cool teacher, kind of like his teacher in 8th grade that got caught hooking up with students. So whatever. Michael asks Dwight, what advice did I give you any good advice? And Michael says, yes, don't be an idiot. And Dwight says, before I do anything, I ask myself, would an idiot do that? And if that answer is yes, I do not do that thing. That is very good advice. So Dwight finds animal stool, and of course he has to investigate. So he looks and he says, "Oh, never mind, it's a bird." And then the bat starts flying everywhere. And Angela has a talking head where she says, "Poop is raining from the ceiling. Poop." So Jim calls animal control, and he pretends to be bitten by the bat, and then he's like and pretends that he got bit by that he becomes a vampire. By the way, the person that directed this was Joss Whedon, who also was the creator of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They swear that was a coincidence. He's like, "What do you do? You playing a joke on me that it has to be a vampire?" He's like, it was a coincidence." Yeah, he's blinded by Angela's cross necklace, and he can't be near garlic bread. He's sensitive to light. It's just so good. So at one point, Dwight says, "I don't have a lot of experience with vampires, but I have hunted werewolves. I shot one once, but by the time I got to it, it turned back into my neighbor's dog." Dwight, what are you doing? And Jim says the bat will be taken care of at 6:00. That's when animal control is coming. And Dwight says, "That's not good enough. I'm going to get it now." So he chases the bat. He traps it, and it was in the same room as Meredith. So he has a garbage bag, and he puts some garbage bag over Meredith, and garbage bag has the bat and Meredith, and he eventually grabs the bat, and then he says, "Where you're welcome," or something like that. So Michael goes to Ryan's business class, and basically Ryan is throwing him and Dunder Mifflin under the bus. He's basically saying, "I work for a dying company in a dying industry, and they'll probably be out of business soon," and just really trashes them. So Michael is doing this huge presentation. He has his own music. He's throwing candy bars at them. He rips up this kid's book. At one point he says, "Real business is done on paper. Write that down." And everybody is nobody has paper. They're all typing on their laptops. So he says, "Could you take questions?" So everybody is just asking. Michael's like, "What, your company sucks. You're going to die. You know how are you going to stay in business?" And Michael's like, "Well, we're going to stay in business because we're awesome and they suck," basically. And someone says, "Your own employee said that your business is going to die." And Michael is so upset about this. And he said, "Oh yeah, well, Ryan has not even made a sale yet, and he caught the office on fire, so by making a pita or something like that." So he's really upset. He just storms off. So he tells Ryan, "Pack your stuff," which Ryan thinks that means he's fired, and Ryan says, "Please don't fire me." And Michael says, "A good manager doesn't fire people, he hires people, and he inspires people." So he basically demotes Ryan, or at least sends him back to the annex. Which is actually punishment for Toby. I don't know if you meant it that way, but anyway, because Ryan is with Kelly. So Pam has her art show. She asks everybody to come, and nobody does, except for Roy and his what is that dude? I don't know, is he cousin or something like that? And Roy is just he's trying to say nice things because they're back together again. He's like, Your art is the best art of anybody's art, or something like that. It's really, really stupid. Oscar and his boyfriend show up, and they basically trash her and say how horrible this is. And like who the hell are you? Like screw you. What is this? What is this crap that you're trashing out? Forget, these are students in an art school. What do you want? Jeez. So Pam hears this and she's really upset. She's also really upset that basically nobody showed up. And then Michael shows up. And I'm going to try to not to get emotional. This is one of my favorite scenes of the entire series, and I just think it's so beautiful. He is so impressed with. He's like, "Oh, that's our office." I actually have that, but I can't get to it right now. But and he says, "How much is it? I want to buy it." And he does, and he says, "Come on, keep it together." He says, "That's our building, and we sell paper. I'm really proud of you." Dang it! I'm trying to keep it together. And she gives him a hug, and then she says, "What is that in your pockets?" And it was just a candy bar. Okay. She says, "What's that in your pocket?" And he says, "Chunky," because there's a Chunky bar. I think Chunky is the one with chocolate and raisins or something like that. Okay. Hey, not the greatest candy bar ever, but still okay. Because he used candy bars as props in his thing. So I guess he just took the Chunky as a for later. But yeah, that is one of the most sweetest, most wonderful scenes in the entire series. Number 20, season 3, episode 18, The Negotiation. Roy attempts to assault Jim and is thwarted by Dwight. When Roy is fired, Daryl wants a raise. Michael has to negotiate with him and inadvertently reveals that he makes barely more than Daryl. Daryl encourages Michael to pursue a raise. Dwight won't allow Jim a gift to thank him for saving his life. So right before the episode before this, Pam was together with Roy, and Pam told him that Jim kissed her, and this was at the bar. He trashed the bar and he said, "I'm going to kill Jim Albert." So he comes to the office, and Pam is there at the desk, and Jim and Karen are talking, and Roy comes in and he's about to attack Jim, but Dwight has pepper spray and sprays the hell out of him, and everybody is all messed up because of the pepper spray. And Dwight says, "I bring that every day and everybody makes fun of me. Who's laughing now?" So Roy is fired. Janice saying, like, "What is going on over there? What, you have employees attacking each other? Or what the heck?" But Michael says, "Yeah, Daryl's using this as an excuse to demand a raise, blah blah blah." And Jan says, "Well, take care of it." And so Michael tries to use negotiating tactics that he got from Wikipedia on Daryl, and it doesn't work very well. For one thing, Daryl says, "Are you wearing a women's suit?" It was a women's suit. So meanwhile, Angela she keeps asking everybody that was there what happened, and because she's basically just it turns her on what Dwight did that he would do that. And yeah, Jim tries to give him a gift for helping him, and Dwight says, "No, I'm not a hero. I'm just doing my job. Don't worry about it." And that bothers Jim. So Michael and Daryl are talking, and Michael says, "Okay, write the number on a piece of paper and slide it across the desk." And Daryl's like, "Why don't I just tell you?" He said, "Because that's how it's done in the movies. That's why." So he writes the number, he slides it, and Michael's like, "Yeah, right. You can't possibly get this. That's more than I make." And Daryl's like, "Yeah, right. You make a lot of money." And Michael's like, "No, I don't. I'll show you." And Daryl's like, you barely make more than me. You're supposed to be the big manager. And everybody finds out that Michael doesn't make much. And so Michael's in the break room and Kevin gives him money. And then Creed says, here's the $40 you gave me. And Michael says, I didn't give you $40. And Creed's like, in a way you did. So Creed is just the best. Stanley had a talking head. He said, yeah, I heard how much Michael makes. I still think he's overpaid. So they decide, Daryl and Michael decide, you know what, I need to go to New York to ask for a raise. Michael wants a raise too. And Daryl says, don't forget that phrase I taught you, bibbity bobbity. I think the full phrase was like bibbity bobbity, give me the whoppity or something like that. They have to bring Toby because Jan and Michael are dating, and so they have to have like an impartial company representative there. So that's Toby. So Daryl, Toby, and Roy and Daryl, Toby, and Michael go to New York, and they're sitting with Jan, and Michael says, you give me a raise or no more sex. You and Toby's right there, and Michael says, what are you writing, pervball? And Toby says, just preparing for the deposition. Oh my. Yeah, in the end, Jan says, okay, well, you can have a 12% raise. So there. So Roy comes back and to pick up his last check, and everybody's on edge, and Roy says, we need to talk. Can we talk? Pam says, I don't want to talk to you. It's like, please, can we have coffee or something like that? So they go somewhere and have coffee, and he just says, I'm sorry, I was just so jealous and upset over Jim. And then he says, well, you guys are going to be going out, right? And Pam's like, no, I can't, because he's with someone else. Now he's with Karen. And Roy says, you broke up our wedding for the guy, and you're not even going to try to go out with him? Like, oh, you have a point there. So in the end, Andy comes back. He returns from anger management, and he walks in, he's like, hi, everybody, and Dwight pepper sprays him. It was a great scene. It was perfect. Number 19, season 7, episodes 11 and 12, Classy Christmas. Michael throws an elaborate Christmas party to celebrate Holly's temporary return to the Scranton branch, but is disappointed when he learns that she has a boyfriend. The cold open was kind of stupid. Everybody was outside, and they were doing a company Christmas card, and they tried to jump in the air, and not everybody could jump in the air at the same time. So it was just stupid. Pam this is season 7. Pam was just named office administrator, and she shut down the party planning committee. So no more party planning committee drama. It's now, she got it. And what she did for the Christmas party is she basically got everything everybody wanted. So everybody was happy. Michael's like, okay, what's the drama about? It's like, no drama. Everybody's happy. Everybody got what they wanted. It's fine. And Toby announced that he was taking a leave of absence to be on jury duty for the Scranton Strangler case, which I don't think people think that Toby was the Scranton Strangler. I don't think that checks out. But anyway, and he says that Holly is coming from the Nashua branch to take over for him. So okay. Pam's gift to Jim was she drew a comic book of him. So very, very sweet gesture. It was snowing outside, and Jim went outside, made a snowball, brought it in, threw it in Dwight's face. And Dwight says, I challenge you to a snowball fight on the first real snow of the year. So Jim's like, yeah, whatever. And Dwight basically proceeds to go psycho on Jim and make him all paranoid and scared. He builds all these snowmen, and he just goes way too far. But really, for years and years and years, Jim was playing pranks on Dwight. Now Dwight gets back at him. So really, really, Jim deserved it. Michael, so everything's going fine, and then when Toby says that Holly's coming back, he's like, okay, we're forget this party, or we're doing a whole other party for Holly. Everything has to be perfect. It's going to be a classy Christmas. And he throws away all the cookies, and everybody's like, why are you throwing away the cookies? What are you doing? Those are good cookies. We don't have to throw them away. We don't have the budget for this. He's like, I don't care. He went crazy. So Holly comes back, and he tries to get together with her, and she says that she's still going out with AJ. And this makes Michael really upset. And for some reason, Erin hates Holly's guts. I don't know why, but she just absolutely hates Holly. Holly had a toy of Woody from Toy Story, and she says that's because her and AJ were watching all the Toy Story movies together, and she got him this toy, and they're living together, and everything's wonderful. And Michael took that toy and basically threw it in the trash and got it all dirty and stuff. So, really, really sucked. And Holly said, "Who did this?" And Michael said, "It was me." And you know what? You're doing this long distance thing with AJ, but when you moved to Nashua, you said you couldn't do a long distance thing with me. So what's the point? Like, it's like, yeah, that actually is a good point. At one point, Stanley said his dream is to be on jury duty, to sit in an air conditioning room downtown judging people and getting paid for it. That's his dream. Which is, I could see that. Jim tries to get back at Dwight. He has a lacrosse stick, and he flings a snowball at Dwight, and it breaks a window. And everybody's like, what the heck? I mean, Jim looks really bad here and paranoid and crazy. So, and I don't know. Oh, one of the pranks Dwight played on him was he pretended to be Pam or something like that. And he got Jim again. And Dwight said, I have a wig for everyone in the office. And he has one of Meredith and Stanley. It's silly. Angela, I think at this point, I don't know if she declared that that she's, I don't know if she's engaged to the senator at this point or not, but anyway, she brings the senator to the party, and he and he meets Oscar, and Oscar says, yeah, he seemed very nice. Also, he's gay. So that starts that story. AJ comes down to the party to visit Holly, and this is where we get one of the famous memes where Michael says, I am dead inside. So as everybody's exchanging gifts, and Angela got Creed a 4-pack of deodorant. Jim apparently had a very good year, so he got her a necklace, which is a very, very pretty necklace. But and then Pam gets him the comic book, and he loves it. So Michael is super down, super sad because of Holly, and he decides to leave. And Pam says, wait a minute, just so you know, Holly is going to give AJ an ultimatum. And I don't know about you, but not too many relationships go well when there's an ultimatum. So she gives him hope. There was a story with Daryl, and the daughter didn't want to hang out with him for Christmas. She wanted to hang out with family. So Pam and Andy decided, well, let's bring her to the office and we'll make it fun. So they did all these fun things, and they got all the items from the vending machine and gave them out to everybody like they were Santa, something like that. So they made it fun for her. Number 18, season 5, episode 28, company picnic. Michael runs into Holly at the company picnic, and the two of them accidentally reveal that the Buffalo branch is closing during a comedy skit before corporate has made the announcement. So the cold open was Michael was taking a nap because he ate an entire chicken pot pie. So he's sleeping at his desk, and I guess this was early in the afternoon, and everybody moves all the clocks up. You move all the clocks forward, and then he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, it's time to go. Bye, everybody." And so everybody got like basically the afternoon off. So they all were to get out early. So it's a company picnic, and Dwight's best friend Rolf is there, and basically he just yells at Angela the whole time and calls her a whore, and it's just eventually Dwight's like, "Hey, dude, chill out." There's a big volleyball tournament between all the branches, and we see Charles Minor again, and he's teasing Jim about staying awake or something like that, or I don't know what that was about, but basically Charles is, I guess, with corporate now, and I'm sure he still hates Jim's guts, and feelings mutual. But so they're playing volleyball, and Pam is actually awesome at volleyball, and she's like, "Yeah, I went to volleyball school, and I was awesome at volleyball in high school, and blah blah blah." Now, in the Job Fair episode, she said that she hated sports and she hated school. I mean, she hated gym class, and she would pretend to get out of it. So that was a plot hole, but oh well, it happens. I mean, that you could explain around that. You could say that you hated it one year in high school and then liked it the next year or something like that. So that's understandable. So Michael, this is the end of season 5. Michael sees Holly, and Holly is with AJ, and they David Wallace tells them to make some kind of skit to show in front of everybody. And Michael and Holly are just having the best time together, and they are just everything's great. And in the end, he says, "You know what? We'll get together again. It's going to take a long time, but when we do get together again, it'll be perfect. I'm in no rush." And eventually, that's what happens. So Pam is so good at volleyball, and they're advancing to the finals of this tournament, and Pam twists her ankle and has to go to the hospital. So they go to the hospital, and Dwight tells them, we'll come back quick so we could keep playing. And eventually they learn that Pam is pregnant, and the scene where the doctor tells Jim is it's really sweet, and it's not, there's no sound. They decided to not do sound. They just do it, just on facial expressions, and they have the most wonderful, they're so happy, and they're hugging and stuff. So it's a really, really sweet scene. And that's it. All right. So 2 more of these episodes to go. We're almost done. There are some, these are the best of the best of the episodes. So it's so exciting going through these. So thanks for watching and listening, and I'll talk to you later.